Thank you. I call on Right Honorable Akim Jamiu to pray for us.
Almighty God, ruler of heavens and earth, we beseech thee to inspire and guide all our counsels and actions, so that we may always walk in the path of justice, love, and charity to one another. Help us with thy grace to do only those things that will promote the unity, happiness, and prosperity of Nigeria. So help us, God. Amen.
Amen. Dear colleagues, let me welcome you again to yet another plenary session. As we all are aware, today is Tuesday, the 17th day of February 2026. Who is that? So I welcome you to yet another plenary section. Without wasting time, we will go straight to our votes and proceedings for Thursday, the 12th day of February 2026. While we are going through that, I must also comment that it seems today is Honorable Idowu Odebumi's wedding anniversary. Or is this in solidarity with the consensus candidate who has just emerged for the local government election? Now, if we tell you that you have joined the bourgeoisie, you will say no. But the evidence has shown. Well, so we will go through our votes and proceedings for Thursday, February 12, 2026. And please, while we are going through it, if you have any comment, observation, please signify by the raise of your hand. And I say page 1. And very soon, you know, with our digitization effort, you don't need to raise hand, you only need to press your button. To raise hand, you only press your button, and by the time you press your button, we see from our digitization process. Page 2. Page 3. Page 4, Page 5. And then page 6. In the absence of no observation or comment, and I would say I've already read through the votes and proceedings. And I say the votes and proceedings for Thursday, the 12th day of February 2026, is hereby approved. Clerk, any message from the governor?
Right, Honorable Speaker, sir. No message from the state governor.
Any other message from members? Any message from constituency or committee?
No other messages, sir.
Any public petition, leader of the house? None.
Yes.
Any matter of urgent public importance? Yes. Okay. Yes. Honorable Oluwole Lateef Akanle.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. My name is Honorable Lateef Oluwole Akanle, representing Ekiti East 2, where the sun rises. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, I rise this morning to dear colleagues to appreciate and congratulate our indefatigable leader, our progressive leader, our result-oriented leader, our futuristic leader, strategic leader, the Right Honorable Speaker of Ekiti State House of Assembly, for his emergence for the second time as the chairman of Conference of Speakers of State House of Assembly. This is the second time our distinguished speaker will be running in that office because of his outstanding performance that he recorded in his first tenure as a chairman. He coordinated them very well. One of the most brilliant heads when we talk of speakers in Nigeria. No wonder we have won accolades in various fields and from various agencies as one of the best assemblies that we're having in the country. So, and that is happening because we have a capable leader, capacity leader that's delivered to the expectation of his people. So my colleagues, can you join me to congratulate our indefatigable leader? Thank you very much.
Thank you. You caught me unaware, and I was looking for that person. Well, thank you very much for... Mr., I think you have to move this. I can't see my members. So that you move it to this side. Thank you. Position yourself. Always remember that we have a member over there. Okay. Odebumi.
The capacity speaking speaker, Ekiti State House of Assembly, distinguished honorable colleagues, I still remain my humble self, Honorable Comrade Idowu Odebumi, representing the good people of Oye Constituency 2. Mr. Speaker, I want to join Honorable Lateef Akanle to congratulate you, to congratulate Ekiti State House of Assembly and Ekiti State as a whole for your re-election, unanimous voice from your colleagues that you should continue to serve as their chairman, and not only as the chairman, which invariably made you the vice chairman of the National Conference of Speakers at the national level. Mr. Speaker, your coordinating spirit in Ekiti State, you have demonstrated it at the national level. And this has shown that you are Omoluabi par excellence. The spirit, in many times, Mr. Speaker, this Alo Chamber has confidentially passed vote of confidence in you so many times. It shows that we are with you. You've coordinated us well as our colleagues, as our servants, not as dictator. And this, I think, your fellow colleagues have seen it in you and asked you to continue. My only advice to you is to continue being the good person you are. Though you are a permanent good man, sky is your starting point. Congratulations, Mr. Speaker.
Well, okay, thank you very much. Please, I think you should be the last person on this. Honorable Fawekun.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. My name is Abiodun Babatunde Fawekun. I represent the Constituency 1. Mr. Speaker, may I say I'm not surprised because what you're doing is just your stock in trade. You lead, and you lead very well. And I just want to thank you for giving us a face amongst the conference of speakers in Nigeria. You have projected this house very well, and we do appreciate you. And I pray God should endow you with more knowledge and wisdom to say true for us in the State House of Assembly. I want to say a big thank you to you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Abiodun Babatunde Fawekun, and other colleagues who have spoken. And I know if I permit, everyone want to speak. I want to thank you for your commendation and for your congratulatory message on my re-emergence as the SONA Vice Chair, SONA National Vice Chair, which also translates as the chairman of Conference of Speakers in the Southwest. I want to thank you all for your support, because I believe without your support, this wouldn't have happened in the first place. My emergence, I hold it to all of you. It will be difficult if you are leading a house where you have trouble to also go out there and to continue to shine. It's because of the support that I enjoy from all of you. And as far as for me, I hold this victory to other 25 members of this House of Assembly and even the bureaucracy, because without you, who am I? I want to thank you for your support, for your prayers, and I must also use this window to thank my colleagues, because election to the position of National Vice Chairman for the zone is an election conducted by the 36 of us at the national level. And when the name cropped up, I saw the resounding support. It was overwhelming, as all members wanted me back, and not only as the SONA Vice Chair alone, and there are other jobs committed to me by the grace of God at the national level and through your support. And I must also thank my colleagues for the confidence so reposed in me. And you may be wondering, my addressing today is also in solidarity with my national chairman, who is the Speaker of Delta State House of Assembly. So, so once again, I thank you, dear colleagues, for your support. And again, that under us, Ekiti is not taking the back seat. We are also taking the lead. We are taking the frontal seat, just like I have been told in the history of Ekiti State House of Assembly. This is the first time that we'll be occupying such position. And since 1999, this is the first time Ekiti State House of Assembly will be having the opportunity to lead. Of course, we've never even occupied any executive position at the national level before now, but by the grace of God, under us, we are leading. And I owe it to God, I owe it to you, and I say thank you all. And I must also thank our governor, who has given us the platform. Our governor, who has always been there, giving us every support at every time. Whatever we do in this house, by the grace of God, you will know that it has been as a result of the support that we enjoy from the governor. This morning, one of the commissioners was around. We moved around the entire building to see the level of work, and he was surprised that we will have these magnitude or magnificent and job in the State House of Assembly that can only be compared to what is happening at the National Assembly. I'm able to say it anywhere. I have been to a lot of, if not all, at least to so many houses of assembly in Nigeria. What we see there now at that chamber could only be compared to what you see at the National Assembly. And this is made possible by our governor, Governor Biodun Abayomi Oyebanji, who is doing well and who is working well tirelessly to see that Ekiti State become an Eldorado, and that we will get to by the special grace of God. So I thank you all. Thank you and God bless. Any personal explanation? Okay. Well, for personal explanation, we can take more than one. So I will call on Right Honorable Akim Jamiu, and the two of you are from Irekodi in Felodun. So then we can take two, then we'll move to one later.
Right Honorable Speaker, distinguished colleagues, please permit me to inform the House under personal explanation about the demise of an illustrious son of Ekiti State from my local government, and most especially from my town, and from my Ikudani Konsi family. His name is Engineer Ismail Olowolafeda Isi, 1939 to 2026. Engineer Ismail Olowolafeda Isi was an uncle, was always with my parents, and no month passed without his presence in our house. My father later told me that he was my uncle and the head of our Ikudani Konsi Extended family in Igbemo Ekiti. He was a distinguished alumnus of Ahmadu Bello University. His career in civil engineering spanned decades. He supervised landmark road projects both at the federal level and in Ekiti State with the Federal Ministry of Works, and he served diligently at Ete and Naro and Partners before founding his own firm. He also served meritoriously in the old Ondo State Executive Council as Commissioner for Works and Housing in 1986 under the regime of Rear Admiral Mike Ahigbe. He served Igbemo as the president of Igbemo Development Association for many years, and his landmark activities, achievements are still indelible up to today. As a devout Muslim of the Ahmadiyya Jamaat, he served with tireless dedication, holding various leadership roles, including president of the local Jamaat and Nabil Amal. Until he breathed his last, Engineer Daisy was a responsible family man who, as head of the Ikudani Konsi family, held the family together and would do anything for the cause of unity in the extended and prominent family. In spite of his failed health in the last 2 years, he will always visit and call all or not members of the family. As we mourn his glorious exit, we are consoled with the good legacy of hard work, love, and unity which he bequeathed. We celebrate the extraordinary life he lived and the good, responsible, and well-trained children he left behind. May Almighty Allah grant him a Jannah Firdaus and give the Ikudani Konsi family in Igbemo, Ekiti State, and Ekiti State generally the fortitude to bear the irreparable loss. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Let me also commiserate with you and the good people of Igbemo and Ekiti State at large on the demise of one of our shining stars who has gone to the grave beyond. As you have rightly submitted that the man in question contributed to the development of Igbemo, development of Irekodi in Felodun, and even to the development of Ekiti State. And it's one of the people that has brought good name to our dear state. It is our prayer that at this point that God will repose his soul and also comfort the family that is left behind, particularly the family of Ogundai, Ogun. Please, can you remind me again? Sorry, sir. Ikú Danikansi will comfort the family of Iku Danikansi, meaning that also reminds us that death is a leveler. It's a leveler. Either you are mighty, either you are rich, or you are poor. One day, all of us, or one, we will die. It's a leveler. So, but the comfort is the work what we do here will also speak after us. And if you do good, then you know that there is an adjourner where you will meet. And if you do bad also, there is also that place that we have all been told, either in the Quran or in the Bible, or even the Ishembaye also told us that there is life after here. And that is why we must always think and reflect on what we do and what we want to leave behind, because that is the legacy that will speak for us and after us. And wherever we find ourselves, it will always speak. So please, our sincere condolences to you, to the family, and to the people of Ekiti State. May God grant him eternal rest. Amen. Honorable Femi Akindele, you record the following one.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. My name is Honorable Femi Olanrewaju Akindele. I represent the entire celestial and terrestrial bodies of Report Development Constituency 1, Right Honorable Speaker. Before I proceed, let me join Honorable Lateef Akande to specially congratulate you. He actually took it from me. I was going to use this opportunity, this platform, to do that, but thank God he had the opportunity before me. Congratulations, sir. Right Honorable Speaker, in line with our standing orders, rules and standing orders, Order 8, Rule 47, that we may give reports of any seminars that has been attended by any member. In line with that, and with your kind permission, Right Honorable Speaker, I stand this morning or this afternoon to report to us that I was duly invited as chairman, House Committee, Public Infrastructure and Utilities, to attend a seminar organized by Ecumenical Water for Africa, in conjunction with Institute of Church and Society in Samonda in Ibadan last week, the 12th day of this month, last week. That's Honorable Speaker. There and then, the entire discourse was on water. And we were made to realize that water is not just a commodity, but water is a human right, as declared by United Nations since 2010. Right Honorable Speaker, the entire idea and the entire reason for this seminar was because the issue of water under privatization has deprived more people, more indigents. When water is privatized, as it's been done today, many people have been deprived of potable water, affordable water, accessible water sources in our society. And that is the growing and the new trend now. And at that seminar, we were told, and we were even exposed to see other countries where privatization was earlier done, maybe 50, 40 years before now, and they have reversed back that privatization, because privatizing water entirely will not make it affordable and accessible to the entire indigent, the entire populace. Right, Honorable Speaker, the new idea now that is being canvassed, it is PPP. This time around, the PPP is not the public-private partnership. This one is public-private partnership. In a situation whereby you have the existing structures of water, maybe water agencies, being further strengthened by bringing in the locals, the communities, the indigent people that will benefit from these sources of water as we already have in Ekiti State, by allowing them to participate in the process of maybe having water accessible to them, affordable for them. Then the communities will own it. Then they will be able to even protect the infrastructure. They will be able to maintain it further, rather than giving it entirely
privatization agents or agencies. Right, Honorable Speaker, we were made, in fact, the list of countries, more than 15 countries, they repealed their laws on privatization, especially on the issue of water. They brought it back. They brought it back to PPP, which is public partnership. Right, Honorable Speaker, this has been proved to be sustainable. In fact, I think Japan, one of these Asian countries, was shown to have practiced this over 80 years. And that model now is being adopted by other countries. And now that we have this kind of sensitization going on in our midst, that's why I think it will be incumbent on us to begin to think in this direction, to begin to even look forward, maybe going forward from this time, to begin to think in the line of PPP, which is public partnership. Right, Honorable Speaker, at that event, I stood up to tell them, I made them to realize that in Ekiti State, that we already have that model that is already working in Ekiti State, and I told them, our people in Ekiti State were happy. We're already even paying for metered water at Olona area, at our road area. I have people there. I have people that benefited from this. But for the construction of the ongoing roads and major facilities in the Ekiti State that made the flow of water to cease in those areas. And I told them that as soon as all these constructions are over, then water will be restored and water will be made available to the entire citizens. And Ekiti State were equally applauded. And I remember that day, Vanguard newspaper even picked it that day and even placed it on their online when I was speaking. And I told them about what we have done in Ekiti State, what we have achieved so far, and what we equally intend to achieve. That's what I would have loved to come with a comprehensive report, but in line with our rules and standing order, I'm only allowed to make a brief oral submission on this kind of report. But with if you allow later in future, I can come with a comprehensive report that will be adopted, that will be useful for the consumption of this House. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Femi Akindele, for leaving to the bidding what is expected of a honorable member. I must say that I have to commend you for this report, which is in line with the standing order of this House, Order 8, Rule 47. That is also, it's expected that when a member attends a conference, seminar, workshop, it's always good to give an oral report with the indulgence of the speaker, which I have actually given. And I must say that your oral report was comprehensive and detailed enough. And by the time, members, I know you should be proud, even listening to him, particularly on this workshop, things that were discussed. You will recall that sometimes in 2025, we in this House of Assembly under us, passed a law in Ekiti State, that is Ekiti State Water Resources, Sanitation, and Nigeria Sector Law 2025. That is number 5 of 2025. And part of what you have just said was enshrined in that law that allowed the public participation. It was part of what we passed in our law in that 2025. Then the whole essence of even having such reports, when you come back, it will also enable us to look at our laws again. If there are areas that we are lacking behind, then we can also take it up. That is the whole essence of what you have done. For us to also look into our books, look into our checks, and see that, ensure that, as we all know, that society is not static. So also is our law. Our laws must not be static. And that is why in the Constitution of Assembly, under us, we ensure that our laws are made to meet the reality of the moment. So these kind of workshops also expose us to other things. And I will give you that indulgence that if you think there are areas that we still need to look into in our laws through your report, you can write the report and also call the attention of the House vis-a-vis our law to see the areas that we should look into, and then we can brush it up and also refresh our laws in Ekiti State. I commend you once again for this your job, for doing a great job, for living to the billing, for being a good representative of your people, and for being a face that we can say this is the face of Ekiti State House of Assembly. This is who we are, this is what we are, and this is what we are meant to be. Thank you very much. Thank you, and God bless. Please, dear colleagues, let us also continue to take a cue from this. Anytime you are attending any workshop, anytime you are attending any conference, anytime you are attending any retreat, please always endeavor to come back and give report of such a workshop. Even other ad hoc committees assignment given to us, because I've mentioned and I'll continue to say that a house of assembly can only run through its committees and through what the members are doing. A house is an aggregate of what the members are doing. I thank you once again, Honorable Femi Akindele, for that beautiful and wonderful report. Thank you very much. On that note, I call on the leader of the house to take us through the order of the day. Sorry, please, 1 minute. I forgot to also mention under announcement, just before we go to the order of the day, that I quickly want to mention this. Number one is, by the grace of God, today at 2 p.m., Ekiti State House of Assembly is being awarded. Of course, we are to receive an award, and I will want the Deputy Speaker to lead other colleagues to that venue. Is at Obafemi Awolowo Civic Center this afternoon, as we have been awarded as the what's it called? The best digital house of assembly again in Nigeria. Yes. And this is by and I'm aware that the keynote speaker is Kayode Otitoju, who is coming. Yes. So I want the Deputy Speaker to lead others to go and collect that award on behalf of Ekiti State House of Assembly today at 2 p.m. And then let me also announce to us that I received an invitation from one of us, one of the leaders in Ekiti State, Her Excellency, the former ambassador to EG, Ambassador Dr. Eniala Ajayi, who is also giving our mother a befitting burial this weekend. So all members have been requested, cordially invited for this burial ceremony. Other details will be given to us through our proper channel of communication. All members are invited, and for further information, kindly contact the leader of the house, who is going to give us the details of this information. Other announcements I will give you later in the day. Leader of the house, please take us through. Thank you.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. And good morning, my dear. Yeah, this afternoon already. Good afternoon, my dear colleagues. Yeah, I have the order paper for Tuesday, February 17th, 2026 here with me. And on the order of the day, there are 6 items. Items 1 being the report of the Committee on Agriculture and Rural Development and Security and Special Duties on prohibition of unguided grazing of cattle and other ruminants in Ekiti State. Item 2 is a report of the Committee on Agriculture and Rural Development in respect of a petition titled Appeal for Review of Short Payment under the Bring Back Youth into Agriculture Empowerment Program. Item 3 is a report of the Committee on Environment regarding the on-the-spot assessment of the effects of rainstorm in Ijeru. Item 4 is the Administration of Criminal Justice Amendment Law 2026. And item 5 is also the State Local Government Administration First Amendment Bill 2026, while item 6 is adjournment.
Take us through the item 1.
Right, Honorable Speaker. Item 1 is the report of the Joint Committees on Agriculture and Rural Development and Security and Special Duties. And this report is being taken by the Chairman of the Committee on Agriculture and Rural Development. That's in the person of Honorable Batunde Fawekun. You may direct him to present his report, right, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, I call on the Chairman, House Committee on Agriculture and Rural Development to take the report of the Joint Committee set up to to consider the bill before the House, that is the prohibition of unguarded grazing of cattle and other ruminants in Ekiti State, repeal and reenactment bill 2026. Honorable Fawekun.
Thank you. Right, Honorable Speaker, distinguished colleagues. I am Babatunde Abiodun Fawekun.
And I think Honorable Takwaloge should stop disturbing Honorable Fawekun there.
I represent Idosi Constituency 1. Consolidated report on the Joint Committee on Agriculture and Rural Development and Security and Special Duties on the proposed bill titled Prohibition of Unguarded Grazing of Cattle and Other Ruminants in Ekiti State, Repeal and Reenactment Law 2026. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, in accordance with the standing orders of this Honorable House, you will recall that during the plenary session on Tuesday, February 3rd, 2026, the bill titled Prohibition of Unguarded Grazing of Cattle and Other Ruminants in Ekiti State, Repeal and Reenactment Law 2026 passed through its second reading. The bill was subsequently committed to the Joint Committee on Agriculture and Rural Development and Security and Special Duties for further legislative action. The core mandate of this Joint Committee was to review the legal framework, address existing lacuna in the previous law, and ensure that the proposed legislation aligns with the socio-economic realities of Ekiti State without violating constitutional provision on the right of movement and property. Methodology. The Joint Committees, acting under the authority of the 7th Assembly, adopted the following procedure: clause-by-clause analysis. An executive section was held on February 5, 2026 to scrutinize the short title, interpretation clause, and enacting formula of the bill. Public hearing. Pursuant to the principle of fair hearing and participatory democracy, a public hearing was convened on February 12, 2026 at the Assembly Complex. Stakeholders consultation. Memoranda were received and oral testimony taken from Ministry of Justice, security agencies, traditional rulers, All Farmers Association of Nigeria, and the Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association. Amendment and findings. Following the deliberative process, the Joint Committee recommends the following legislative amendments. Licensing and administrative framework. Section 3. 1. Precondition for registration. A new proviso is inserted requiring that an applicant must produce a letter of attestation from the host community via the traditional council before the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security for certificate of registration. 2. Non-transferability. Regulation is intuit personal to the individual and shall not be transferable to any third party. 3. Institution delineation. The phrase ministry is amended to read the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security to avoid administrative ambiguity. The interpretation and definition, that's section 5. 1. Statutory definition of firearm to strengthen the enforcement clause. Firearm shall be defined in accordance with the Firearm Special Provision Act to include rifles, shotgun, handgun, and locally made offensive weapon. 2. Valuation standards. Agricultural officer shall be defined as certified personnel officer empowered to perform forensic assessment or valuation of damaged agrarian assets. C. Penal provision and sanction. Section 8. 1. Quantum of fine. The fine for the first-time offender is increased from the previous sum of 50,000 naira to 250,000 naira. 2. Restitution costs. In addition to the fine, the court shall order full restitution, compensation for destroyed crops based on the current market value. 3. Capacity to contract. To prevent exploitation of minors, Section 8 is amended to prohibit any person under the age of 18 from lead grazing. 4. Territorial restriction. Grazing is strictly prohibited in urban centers, especially the state capital and residential estates. Movement of cattle between local government areas for grazing is hereby restricted to prevent intra-communal friction. Supplementary provision in new provisions. 1. Curfew of grazing. There is ban placed on night grazing, that is from the hours of 6 p.m. to 7 a.m. Digital oversight. The bill now includes a clause mandatory for geotagging of livestock and the use of identification jackets for registered others to facilitate traceability. Oversight on reprisal. A clause is incited to criminalize self-help or vigilante attack on livestock, mandating that all disputes be channeled through the law enforcement agencies. Impounding of cattle. Any impounded cattle and ruminants must be billed within a month or be forfeited to the state government. Recommendation. The Joint Committee, having fulfilled its oversight and legislative function, hereby recommend 1. That the Committee of the Whole adopt this report and propose amendment therein. 2. That the bill being processed, that the bill be progressed to its third reading and passed into law to provide a robust legislative shield for our farmers and security architecture. Appreciation. The Joint Committee expressed its gratitude to the Right Honorable Speaker and the entire House for the opportunity to serve and to the bureaucratic support provided by the Clerk of the House and his team. Committee members. Honorable Babatunde Fawekun, Chairman. Honorable Karim Agumbiade, Vice Chairman. Honorable Awoni Adeyemi, Member. Honorable Babatunde Omotayo, Member. Honorable Ademola Ojo, Member. Mr. Adeyeye Maxwell, Committee Clerk. Committee on Security and Special Duty. Honorable Babatunde Omotayo, Chairman. Honorable Kende Anthony Adamodu, Vice Chairman. Honorable Femi Fatunla, Member. Alaja Miriam Ogunlade, Member. Honorable Karim Agumbiade, Member. Mr. Gbenga Ogunjano, Committee Clerk. Thank you. Sorry.
Well, thank you very much, Honorable Abiodun Fawekun and all other members of the committee for a job well done. I must also commend you for the public hearing. At least I followed the public hearing. It was a great one, a wonderful one, where we have all stakeholders engaged and everybody's bear their mind. Well, we will look into your report when the House convey. But I must say, thank you for a job well done. Thank you. It was a great job. Well done. Well done. Leader of the House.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Thank you, my dear colleagues, once again. Right Honorable Speaker, having received the consolidated report of the Joint Committee on Agriculture and Rural Development and Security and Special Duty on the proposed bill titled Prohibition of Unguarded Grazing of Cattle and Other Ruminants in the State, which is repealing the old law and reenactment 2026. I want to move the motion that the House adopt this document as a working document of this House for further scrutiny and further debate.
Thank you very much. I also call on the Honorable Tony Adaramodu to second the motion.
Capacity Speaker, my name is Honorable Tony Kendi Adaramodu. I hereby support the motion that Committee on Agriculture and Rural Development, in respect of petition titled Appeal.
Please look at it very well, sir.
Report. Right, Honorable Speaker, dear colleagues, I hereby second the motion and the report be adopted as a working document of this.
Thank you very much, Honorable Tony Kendi Adaramodu. Dear colleagues, if you are in support that the consolidated report of the Joint Committee on Agriculture and Rural Development and Security Special Duties on the proposed bill titled Prohibition of Unguarded Grazing of Cattle and Other Ruminants in Ekiti State, Repeal and Reenactment Bill 2026 be admitted as the working document of this House, say aye. If you are against, say nay. The ayes have it. So it has become the working document of this House. So the bill the report alongside with the bill will be considered by the committee of the House. Please, Honorable Adamodu, off your mic. This one is different from the other one. Off your mic. So I would like to say that this consideration will be done at our next legislative business day. So, Chairman House Committee on Rules and Business, please schedule this for consideration at our next business day. Thank you. So, Leader of the House.
Honorable Speaker and my dear colleagues.
Meanwhile, Honorable Takwenoge, what are you still looking for? You keep searching. You will search and continue to search, and you continue to search. You will see me after plenary session to now tell me the outcome of your research. Yes, Leader of the House.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. The next item, Right Honorable Speaker, is item 2. And that's report of the Committees on Agriculture and Rural Development in respect of the petition titled Appeal for Review of Short Payment under the Bring Back Youth into Agriculture Empowerment Program, written by Ekiti Youth Advocacy Group, Ekiti Chapter. And the chairman of this committee is Honorable Babatunde Fawekun. You may direct him to present this report once again to this House.
Yes, the Chairman, House Committee on Agriculture, can you please present your report? Today is your day.
Thank you. Right Honorable Speaker, distinguished colleagues, I am Babatunde Fawekun. I represent Idosi Constituency 1. Report of the Committee on Agriculture and Rural Development in respect of the petition titled Appeal for Review of Short Payments under the Bring Back Youth into Agriculture Empowerment Program, written by Ekiti Youth Advocates Group, Ekiti State Chapter. At the plenary sitting of this Honorable House, held on the 3rd of February 2026, the Right Honorable Speaker committed the approved petition to House Committee on Agriculture and Rural Development for legislative consideration and subsequently charged the committee to give comprehensive feedback to the House within a week. On Wednesday, 4th of February 2026, the committee met and resolved to invite both parties, that is the petitioner and the respondent, for briefing and questioning with view of unraveling the truth of the matter. Finding, It is highly disheartening that all attempts made by the committee to contact the petitioner through their phone numbers written on the petition proved abortive. Thus, the petitioner could not be contacted in order to enable the committee carry out the assignment. And the committee see this petition as frivolous because there was no address. The numbers were kind of fictitious because it was not going, nobody was picking up the numbers. So the recommendation of the committee, Mr. Speaker, in light of the above, the committee hereby recommend that the petition be treated as frivolity and be struck out of contest. Thank you. The committee expressed its gratitude to Right Honorable Speaker and other honorable members of this House for the opportunity to serve. Honorable Babatunde Abiodun Faweku, Chairman. Honorable Karim Agumbiade, Vice Chairman. Honorable Awoni Jacob, Member. Honorable Ademola Martins Ojo, Member. Honorable Babatunde Omotayo, Member. Mr. Adeyeye Maxwell Gbenga, Committee Clerk. Thank you.
Once again, the Chairman's Committee on Agriculture and Rural Development and other members of the committee who has worked on this petition. Thank you for doing a great job. I call on the leader of the House to move the motion.
Colleagues, the committee has reported and recommended that this petition be struck out. Madam Speaker, in view of this, I would like to move the motion that this document cease to be a working document.
Leader of the House, adoption of the report first. You adopt the report.
Okay, Madam Speaker, I want to move the motion that this House adopts this report as working document of this House.
Thank you very much. The seconder. Yes. Thank God. The other time I wanted to say one with God is with the majority. But on that side, now I know that where we have more than one, then already God is also in their midst. So let me call one of them, Honorable Christiana Abimbola Chulanke, to second this motion.
Right, Honorable Speaker, distinguished colleagues, my name is Honorable Abimbola Shulanke, representing the good people of Mumba Constituency 1. I rise this afternoon to second the motion as moved by the leader of business of this House, that the document on the report on appeal for review of short payment under the Bring Back Youth into Agriculture Empowerment Program be accepted in today's House chamber as a working document. Thank you. I so second.
And those in favor that this House admits as a working document of this House the report of the Committee on Agriculture and Rural Development in respect of a petition titled Appeal for Review of Short Payment under the Bring Back Youth into Agriculture Empowerment Program, written by Ekiti Youth Advocate Group, Ekiti State Chapter, be admitted as the working document of this House. Say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Now, Leader of the House, yes, Honorable Femi Akindele, your observation.
Right, Honorable Speaker, thanks for your responsive leadership. Right, Honorable Speaker, this document, when I first saw it, I would have reacted, but I waited patiently for it to go through the laid down rules of the House, for it to be adopted as working document of the House before we can speak to it. Right, Honorable Speaker, with your leave, I want to say that this document before us that has been adopted as working document, the petitioner or the petitioner, the people in question, they have succeeded in wasting honorable, our time that was not even enough for us. They have succeeded in wasting, precious time and even funds of honorable members by coming to meeting on something like this. Honorable Speaker, if this were to be caught, fines ought to be apportioned to these people. They ought to be fined for bringing this kind of
Honorable
before us. It's on
Honorable
this note,
Femi, Honorable Akindele.
Yes.
May I say that this matter you are addressing, as far as I'm concerned now, is still not before, though adopted as a working document of this House, but the report has not been committed for further discussion. Is that is committed to the committee of the whole House for further discussion, or there is a directive that it be discussed at plenary? So your observation will have to wait till you are guided. The House is guided on what is next on the report. I understand your concerns. I know why you are worried, but I think I always love that we do things accordingly. I understand your concern on this. So let me direct that the leader of the House, I know that it was about moving a motion, and I will allow the leader to move that motion. And under that motion, if you have any comments, you can now make such comments. Leader of the House, your motion.
Honorable Speaker and my dear colleagues, Mr. Speaker, allow me to appreciate the committee set up, that's the Committee on Agriculture and Rural Development, instructed to review the appeal for that short payment. And I want to say that God Almighty will continue to strengthen all of us for doing the needful. Mr. Speaker, in view of the good job that this committee has done and the recommendation that the petition be struck out, I want to move the motion that this House strikes out this petition as recommended. I so move.
Second now. Yes, Honorable Femi Akindele.
Right, Honorable Speaker, dear colleagues, good afternoon once again. My name is Honorable Femi Olanrewaju Akindele. I represent the entire celestial and terrestrial bodies of Report Development Constituency 1. I rise this afternoon to second the motion moved by Leader of Business that this report be struck out as recommended in the document, right, Honorable Speaker, and to further add that Right Honorable Speaker should use your good office table to tell the public that they should stop bringing frivolous petitions before us. Petitions that are unfunded should not be brought to this House, not to come and waste our time. Our time is precious to us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I don't think we need to belabor this. And I must say, before I put the question, that anyone who seeks justice before this House must also be readily available, because justice is not a one-way traffic. And justice, and even writing to the House with fictitious phone numbers, it belittles those who have written. And because from the report before this House, it's clear that the so-called advocate group, also look like a very fictitious group with fictitious names and fictitious number, and that is vexatious. And I think it's so disheartening as the committee has reported. But let me say, that let me say that by the report, the House is already handicapped to move on it. And that motion. Well, let me put the question that those in favor that this petition be struck out, say aye. Aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. The petition on appeal for review of short payment under the Bring Back Youth into Agriculture Empowerment Program, written by Ekiti Youth Advocate Group, Ekiti State Chapter, is hereby struck out. This does not mean that genuine people cannot bring such petition to the House. But when you write a petition, you should be ready to defend it. Thank you. Leader of the House.
Right, Honorable Speaker. The next item on our order is items 3, and that's the report of Committee on Environment regarding the on-the-spot assessment of the effects of rainstorm in Ijero Ekiti. Right, Honorable Speaker, the chairman of the committee, or the vice chairman of the committee, who is to present this report, is Honorable Oladele O. Ogushaki. You may now direct him to present his report, right, Honorable Speaker.
I call on the Vice Chair of Committee on Environment, Honorable Oladele O. Ogushaki, to present the report.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I am Oladele Ogushaki. I represent the good people of Ekiti Constituency 1. Mr. Speaker, Committee on Environment, this morning reporting a report regarding the on-spot assessment of the rainstorm disaster in Ijero local government area. 1. Preamble. Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable members, you will recall that during the plenary session on Thursday, February 12, 2026, the matter of public urgent importance was raised regarding a devastating natural disaster in Ijero local government area. A violent rainstorm resulted in destruction of residential buildings, places of worship, shops, and educational institutions, while also collapsing electricity infrastructure across the township. Consequent upon this, the House mandated the Committee on Environment to conduct an immediate assessment. On February 13, 2026, this committee, accompanied by the member representing Ijero constituency, Honorable Ademola Martins Ojo, together with the vice chairman of the local government and member of the press, visited the affected area to commiserate with the victims and evaluate the extent of the damage. 2. Methodology. The committee adopted a dual approach of physical inspection and stakeholders engagement. Field inspection, the team conducted on-site assessment of the following: residential and community areas. There are 3 quarters in Ijero was visited: Oke Agba Eleda Compound, Oke Logun Street, and other areas that was also visited in the community. Religion and educational institution, Apostolic Church of Nigeria, ACN OKEA, and CLC Primary School, Odo Ofa, was also visited. Victims interview. To gain first-hand data on the impact, the committee interviewed key community leaders and affected persons, including, we interviewed a lot of people, but we just mentioned a few. Chief Eleda, a political leader in Ijero, Mrs. Onile Bolaji, Mr. Fatoba Latif, Pastor Philip Oluwafemi Ajayi, area pastor ACN Okeye, Otumba Femi Ashiwaju. Findings and observation. The following assessment, the committee observed the following: widespread impact. The disaster was not localized. Nearly every quarters and the street within the local government headquarters were impacted by the storm. Structural vulnerability. A significant number of destroyed properties were age structured, particularly Okeagba, Eleda Compound, and which lacked the structural integrity to withstand high velocity wind. 0 fatality. To the glory of God, the community investigation confirmed that no life was lost, though economic loss is monumental. Ecological deficit. A critical observation was the lack of windbreaks trees within the community. The absence of green belt has left the town vulnerable to the escalation effects of climate change. Local proactivity. The local government council already initiated a registration exercise to document victims and their losses for structural intervention. Recommendation. The committee hereby recommend the following for the consideration and approval of the House. Urgent intervention. As usual, the SEMA and National Emergency Management Team should, as a matter of extreme urgency, deploy relief material to the victim to cushion the effect of their losses. Environmental policy. The state government, through the Ministry of Environment, should launch a green shield campaign in Nigeria, its environment, educating and mandating the planting of trees to serve as a natural break. Infrastructure restoration, financial support grant, building code and urban renewal, structural integrity awareness, the Ministry of Physical Planning, the National Building Code emphasized on the need for standard roofing materials and techniques that can withstand high velocity wind. Age structure assessment. A special team of engineers should be deployed to inspect old buildings identified in Okeagba and Eledon compound to advise owner on retrofitting mayor to prevent future collapse. Education and religion support. Schools, rehabilitation, faith-based intervention, healthcare readiness. Epidemic prevention. Since the storm damaged several sanitation facilities, the primary healthcare board should be mandated to distribute water purification tablets and conduct hygiene advocacy in the affected area. We also recommend that the legislative oversight and implementation tackle should commence. Monitoring subcommittee, that the House mandate the Committee on Environment to perform a follow-up visit within 30 days to ensure that the relief material provided by NEMA actually reached the verified victim and were not diverted. Conclusion. The committee assured the victim that the Executive Governor, His Excellency Mr. Biodun Abayomi Bandi, whose administration is rooted in empathy, will act swiftly once the verification process is completed. We emphasize that moving forward, our victims on embracing tree planting as a defensive necessity against the unpredictable pattern of modern weather. Appreciation. The committee expresses its gratitude to the Right Honorable Speaker and the House for the opportunity to serve in this capacity, for the prompt attention given to the plight of the people of Ijiro. Signed, the Chairman, Barrister Fakunle Iyabode Okemi, Honorable Oladele Ogunshakin, Vice Chairman, Honorable Kende Attorney Adaramodu, Member, Honorable Karim Agumbiade, Member, Honorable Lawrence Babatunde Ido, Member, Mr. Ajijafe Adelodun, Committee Clerk. Thank you.
Let me commend you and other members of the committee for a thorough job, a job well done, and particularly for being proactive enough. I recall this was done on Thursday. This assignment was given to the committee, and I'm aware that on Friday you also move. It shows lawmakers who are proactive, who also take constituents as important. What you have done has shown that indeed you are a good representative of the people. And no wonder this house, which has now been adjudged again as one of the best establishments in Ekiti State. It is by this conduct of yours that we have been so awarded. I say thank you very much, and thank you very much. Meanwhile, I will call on Honorable Tokpelonge to take the standing order and open order 10, rule 8 on page 33. And I want you to read rule 9 on page 33. Just read it out loud. Mike, use your mic. Read.
Anyway, Right Honorable Speaker, distinguished colleagues, my name is Longe Temitope Ademola. I represent the good people of Oye Constituency 1, Mr. Speaker. During a sitting, all members, including ranking members, shall be silent or shall confer only in undertones. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
So why am I hearing your voice from this place? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now I call on the leader of the House to move the motion.
Thanks for your consistent and constant observatory capacity. Right, Honorable Speaker, I want to move the motion that this report submitted by the Committee on Environment be adopted as a working document of this House for further deliberations. I so move.
Yes, I call on Honorable Martins Ademola Ojo to second the motion.
Right Honorable Speaker, sir, dear colleagues, my name is Honorable Ademola Martins Ojo. I represent the good and the bad people of Ijero constituency, the largest constituency in Ekiti State. I arise to
Maybe
second.
Today I should also ask that since the rainstorm caused havoc, how many bad people's homes were affected and how many good people's homes were also affected?
We are under remuneration, sir.
All right.
So not, okay, sir.
No
so
problem.
I arise this afternoon to second the motion assumed by the leader of the House that the report submitted by the chairman, Committee on Environment, as is submitted, I hereby second the motion.
Thank
as
you.
so moved by the leader of the House.
Motion is seconded.
Thank you, sir.
By Honorable Ademola Martins Ojo, whose constituency, particularly Ijero town community, is so affected. And on that note, I put the question that those in favor that this House adopt the committee report on the on-spot assessment of the rainstorm disaster in Ijero local government, most especially in the Ijero community, be adopted as a working document of this House. Say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Well, I don't think we should move this to committee of the House. We can handle this at the plenaries immediately. So, leader of the House, can you read out the recommendations for now for resolution?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Thank you, my colleagues. Another kudos to the Committee on Environment for this fantastic work. the committee recommended that SEMA and NEMA should, as a matter of extreme urgency.
Well, leader of the House, sorry, please. I also recollect that the day this motion was moved, we have indeed passed a resolution.
Yeah.
Of course, part of the resolution is this on-spot assessment, and I'm looking at the recommendations again. It may not be too far from the initial resolution. So the only thing we can do is just for the Committee on Legislative Compliance to also follow up on our initial resolution on this same matter, why the issue of windbreakers, planting of trees, has also been a resolution of this House before now. So I think the resolutions are enough. So I think the only resolution is to direct the Committee on Legislative Compliance to ensure that all the resolutions passed, particularly on this matter and other matters, are carried out. I think that's okay. If you are supposed to say aye, if you are against say nay, then the ayes have it. Thank you, and thank you once again. Thank you very much. Yes. You know, sometimes when you get a man in a way, the only thing we do is just to do like this and be looking at you. That you have caught me in a way. I can understand that this morning, Honorable Takwenoge was caught in a way and manner that he's still thinking of what to do. And he's been looking and searching, what will I do today? I caught you. Don't worry. Maybe there will be another time for you. But today is my day. It's looking like a bat. Thank you very much, Leader of the House.
Honorable Speaker, the next item, which is item 4, is the second reading of the Administration of Criminal Justice Amendment Law 2026. This document sponsored by the Honorable Speaker and other members. And
yes,
you may direct.
Thank you very much, dear colleagues. This is a bill sponsored by this House, and this is seeking to amend the provisions of Ekiti State Administration of Criminal Justice Law. And when you look at this bill, that is, this amendment is on restorative justice and community service. Restorative justice, for those who are aware, is one of such that has been adopted in the modern world. And the whole essence why this bill is being sponsored is, number one, to give a force of law to a department that has been established in the Ministry of Justice. Recently, the Ministry of Justice established a department known as the Department of Restorative Justice and Community Service. But that, to me, that department cannot function without an enabling law to back it. But why do we even propose this amendment beyond this department is that I see this as very desirable, and that it will further strengthen our administration of criminal justice in Ekiti State. And fortunately, Ekiti has always taken the lead when it comes to lawmaking. I was discussing yesterday, some of our laws, we have been taking the lead. So restorative justice, I would say, it's aimed, number one, at reducing prison congestion and cost. Number two is that it will encourage offender rehabilitation and also allow victim participation. That is the essence of restorative justice. And it's going to promote faster and more effective justice delivery. this is one of the focus of this amendment that we are proposing for us to have restorative justice in Ekiti State. It will allow faster administration of, some of our criminal, despite the fact that in our criminal law, of course, when it comes to criminal trials, it is expected that it is conducted day by day, on daily basis. That is even what is expected. But even at that, you will know that some criminal offenses or trial span for 2, 3, 4 years, and at the end of the day, even the person maybe is awaiting trial. At the end of the day, he is set free because of want of evidence or because, and some people are with lesser offenses are rotting in jail. Do you know that there are people in jail awaiting trial as I speak to you? Even that the jail time does not even carry more than 1 year. They will be spending close to 5 years on awaiting trials for 5 years for an offense that's 1 year or 2 months punishment. And these are one of the reasons why we are saying let us have also restorative justice in our criminal law in Ekiti State. And again, I also believe that it will target minors because there are so many minors. Some of you joined me in visiting the juvenile homes. And by the time you ask, why are you even here? Some of them have been there for 2, 3 years. The last time we were there, you will recall, one of them was even picked on the road for wandering, and he was there. So the target is also on minor. The target is on some of the non-violent offenses that, and some of them are in prison. And it also targets first-time offenders. But note that this will not just happen without the participation of the victims. It will have the participation of the victim and the offender when it is passed into law. Let me also say that courts, when this law is, if this law is given, is passed into law by this hour, it will also enable courts to refer eligible cases to restorative justice or community service, which is now a department in the Ministry of Justice. Instead of undergoing the full trial in court, the restorative justice and community service department can handle such matter. Such matter before court can be referred to this department to educate upon. And again, offender and victim consent will be required. So you know that it's not just a one-way thing. While we are doing this, it will require the offender and the victim consent. It will also be an agreement that will be legally enforceable. It will be enforceable once they reach, there is a consent, then it becomes a legal requirement that will be enforced. And again, the chief judge will be empowered to issue practice directives to this department. So it's not just that what the Minister of Justice will handle on his own alone, but the chief judge of the state will also be the one to issue practice directive. You understand? To lawyers and to those who are more of friends of a call, there is always a practice direction on how trials are conducted, either in the civil or in criminal cases, how trials are conducted, and that is what we call the practice direction. And in this case also, in restorative justice and community service, there will be practice direction, which will be prepared by the chief judge of the state on how the conduct of this will be done. But please, let me also inform you that this reform, because I call it a reform, once this is passed, this reform is not only timely, but essential in aligning Ekiti State justice system with modern, progressive, and more humane global best practices. And that is what we are doing. And Ekiti State, as a progressive state, as a state that is known for reforms, once we do this, it will align us with the best global best practices. So this is the whole essence of bringing up this bill at this point in time. Again, like I said, to decongest our prisons. I think it's equally important for our committee on judiciary and legal matters to even do a courtesy, will I call it a courtesy visit, to pay a visit, instead, not a constant visit now, to the, what's the new name of prisoner? Correctional service. So again, I think it's also important, because I need to mention that even our Correctional Service Act also give room for this restorative justice. So we will look at our Correctional Service Act, that what we are doing is also not in contravention of any of the provisions. But I can tell you that this we have also looked into before bringing it up is just like a session amendment to our law to accommodate and to give a force of law to that department that have been established in the Ministry of Justice, so as to have the force of law to operate. Because I can tell you that department as of today is like a toothless bulldog that can bark but that cannot bite. But when we give it this force of law, then this bulldog will now have the teeth to bark and to bite. And the bite will have effect. So I call on my dear colleagues, even though I am championing this, but I will still want to plead with my colleagues to support this, and let us give it the accelerated passage that it requires. So on this, you know, you cannot be, on this, I will still be the judge in this matter. But because the matter is not my matter, it's the matter of Ekiti State, it's the matter for all of us. So I only canvass for your support on this. Now, I call on Honorable Babatunde Oke Lawrence for his submission on this matter. Thank you. And Tokwe Longa should get prepared. Yes.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, dear colleagues. I am Honorable Babatunde Oke, representing Ikere Constituency 1. Mr. Speaker, he has done justice to this particular bill because, for me, what I understand by restorative justice and community service, he has succinctly put it to us. And I will just add that, of course, we are complaining of prison congestion because there are so many offenders that are not fit to be in prison. And this bill is desirable to ensure that we rehabilitate them. Restorative justice, we also ensure that the victim find closure, because it's going to be part of the process. The victim, the offender, even the community, we also benefit, because when you talk about community service, whatever the offender is giving out is for the benefit of the community. So this is so desirable for us in Ekiti State, and I will also encourage our members to give it accelerated passage. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, Honorable Tokwelonge. And after that, I will call Honorable Femi Akindele.
Right, Honorable Speaker, distinguished colleagues, my name is Longe Temitope Ademola. I represent the good people of Oyo Constituency 1, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, one of a major reason why people are sent to prison is not only for them to serve time, but it's also for them to get restored. I want to say, without fear of equivocation, Mr. Speaker, that you have actually done justice to this bill, because I also feel that it's very important that when people are sent to prison, when they come out, I'm sure they will have learned one or two lessons. And a major lesson for them is also for them to be useful to the society when they leave prison. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, with very profound respect to you, I would also urge you, in line with my colleague, Honorable Lawrence, okay, that we should waste no time in passing this bill into law. I so submit with profound respect, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you for your profound submission and the profound respect, particularly to the ranking member sitting beside you. Now I call on Honorable Femi Akindele.
Once again, good afternoon. Right, Honorable Speaker, my name is Honorable Femi Olanrewaju Akindele. I represent the entire celestial and terrestrial bodies of Report Development Constituency 1, right honorable speaker. That man is in the celestial realm. Right honorable speaker, what you have sponsored and in conjunction with all your members, I want to say this is another hallmark, this is another landmark, this is another reason that to justify our mantra of being responsive and responsible. Right honorable speaker, I want to tell us that there is no time in human existence that crime will leave our society, not even very soon. There is no time in human existence that any society will be devoid of crime. Right honorable speaker, from the days of Cain and Abel, from the days of Jacob and his brother, from the days of Esau and all of them down to our days, right honorable speaker, no society has been devoid of crime. The only thing we can continue to do is to formulate laws that will make any acts a crime, and thereafter maybe you apply that same law to convict or even give justice. Right honorable speaker, you recall that in the year 2006-2007, I was trained as paralegal officer and sent to Ekiti State Ministry of Justice to come and establish, as a program officer, to establish Citizens' Rights Center in the Ministry of Justice. And this is still part of what is unfolding. Our society is evolving. From that Citizens' Rights Center, from the OPD, from the ADR centers across the nation, even at the national level, this is another landmark. The area of restorative justice, it's another area that people are now talking about. Right honorable speaker, in the past, the issue of justice used to be justice for the society and justice for the victim. But now we have a law that will give us opportunity, that will give even the victim now the opportunity to be restored, if possible, even to be restored, to be addressed in a way, because the court in the past will only send somebody to jail, and the victim of any form of crime will just go home, thanking God that he has gotten the judgment, because the person has had his day in court. But with this one, both the victim, the offender, even the society will benefit more. Then we'll live in further cordiality. That we used to say in Yoruba that we are let's court today, sure. But this time around, this is an advanced ADR method. This is an advanced citizens engagement method. This is an advanced conflict resolution method that must be supported by all. That's why this is so timely and responsive. And I pray that I wish we pass it early enough so that we'll be the first in the country, just the way we have always been the pace setter. We have been setting the pace for the country, and in this, I know we are going to be the one to set the pace again. Thank you.
Leader of the House, please, can you please approach the chair? Abimbola Sholanke.
Right Honorable Speaker. Distinguished colleagues, my name is Honorable Abimbola Sholanke, member representing the good people of Momba Constituency 1. I rise this afternoon to lend my voice to the express passage of this bill. Last week, I was opportune to be at the Juvenile Correctional Home in company of other members of Inner Wheel Club Ado Ekiti Roses. We went to pay them a visit and to give them some factures that the club, donated to them. And I was privileged to actually ask the officer in charge some pertinent questions about the inmates. I saw some young boys, I'm sure they are not up to 10 years old in that correctional home. And due to one thing or the other, so I am in support that this bill be given express passage so that the review can actually take place as soon as possible. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Abimbola Sholanke. Now I call on the leader of the House for his submission.
Right Honorable Speaker, and I also want to appreciate all earlier speakers on this bill. Right Honorable Speaker, this bill is your baby and the handiwork of all members. I want to say definitely, if given the opportunity, everybody will talk proactively, positively around the need for having this bill passed urgently. And you have also enumerated the importance. One, about decongesting the prisons, and most importantly, even to reduce the cost of governance. Because I can imagine how much the government spends on an inmate daily. So this poses the importance and the disability for the urgent passage of this bill. But I will want to propose that given the delicate nature and the importance of the bill, I want to propose that we give the opportunity for other stakeholders to interact with this our law. And given the minimum standard or our standard in this house, where we give room for public hearing on important laws like this, so that we can invite stakeholders and let them speak to what we are proposing as an amendment to this law, I so submit.
Very much, Leader of the House. Okay, Honorable Adaramodu.
Right, Honorable Speaker, dear colleagues, my name is Honorable Tony Kende Adaramodu, representing the good people of Ekiti Southwest Constituency 1. Right, Honorable Speaker, in as much that I support this bill to be passed, I have some reservations, sir.
Submission, sir.
There are some people that are in prison after finding out that what brought them to the prison, they cannot even account for it. At the end of the day, they will find out that they are just in prison. They just put them to that prison without being liable to that offense. There are some cases in which someone was arrested, sent to prison at the age of 21, and the person was released at the age of 80 years. A whole years has been wasted. Right, Honorable Speaker, what compensation can be given to such a person?
Well, this is on another level. It's not, you can propose this amendment also. We can continue to amend, of course, because we can continue to amend our laws. I understand where you are speaking from. We will also, that's another matter for another day. You have raised a very important, vital issue for the consideration of the House. That where a person, either by miscarriage of justice or by a judgment reached in peculiar or per ignoratum, as we say in law, that a person is misjudged and such a person is sentenced and later was found out not to be true, as we have seen in some cases or other crimes. What restorative justice will such a person get? What compensation will such a person get? So it's another level that we are going to also look into in our laws to see what should be a compensation for such. I think that will be looked into so that I get your perspective of this, and I think it's important that we continue to look into our laws and to see how we can mitigate such hardship. Not just, I don't call it an hardship, I even call it something that destroys a life or destiny. The scenario you painted is an abnormal situation in the first place. Because what can a man of 80 years do to repair the losses that he has suffered for those years? So we will look into it. But dear colleagues, having debated this, I will call on the clerk of the house to take the second reading, and then we will move this to the appropriate committee for further legislative consideration. Clerk of the house.
Right Honourable Speaker, sir, distinguished honourable members, a bill for a law to amend the administration of criminal justice law number 1 of 2014 of Ekiti State by inserting a new section 348A to provide for the application of restorative justice and community service and for other matters connected therewith 2026. Second reading. Thank you.
Thank you. Now that the bill has been read for the second time, the bill is hereby committed to the Committee on Judiciary and Legal Matters for further legislative considerations, which will include, but not limited to, a public hearing. And please ensure that this is done within 1 week. You have just within 1 week, meaning that your report should come next week, late Tuesday next week, to the House. You can engage all the necessary stakeholders, Ministry of Justice, and even the judiciary, High Court, because they have a role to play in this, and members of the society, the critical stakeholders in the society should also be invited for their input. And also, you can take into cognizance the issue raised by Honorable Adaramodu, and let's hear people's view on that. And every other matters that you might. I didn't really want to create unnecessary tension. I would have loved us to also look into the issue of Form K in our administration of criminal justice law. And there are other matters that you have to look into. But please, the focus is on this bill that is before the House. Not that the committee cannot come up with other amendments. It's an avenue for you to come up with other amendments. But please ensure that you give it an accelerated and quick consideration, please, so that we can move on this. At least from the contribution made by members, I know that the bill is highly desirable. And again, it will align Ekiti State as one of the states that is rising above others in the area of our justice system aligning with the modern and global practices in the world. Thank you very much, dear colleagues, for your contributions. It's on that note that I commit, it's already committed to the Committee on Judiciary and Legal Matters. Therefore, I call on the Leader of the House to take us through the next item on the list, why I also appreciate Elijah, who is not standing alone, but I look left, right, and I count 1, 2, 3 to see that Elijah, is standing with God. Thank you. Leader of the House.
Right, Honourable Speaker. My dear colleagues, the next item on our order for Tuesday, February 17th, is item 5. And that's the Ekiti State Local Government Administration First Amendment Bill. And I think this bill is sponsored by the Committee on Local Government Administration, and the person.
It cannot be sponsored by committee. It can be sponsored by the people, by members.
By members, sponsored by the members of the committee, and this bill is going for first reading.
Spearheaded by who?
Spearheaded by the chairman of the committee, as in the person of Alaja Miriam Ogolade.
Thank you.
And Right Honourable Speaker, you may direct the clerk to read the bill.
Yes, clerk of the House, can you take the first reading? Honorable Fawekun. Yes, clerk of the House, go ahead.
Honorable Speaker, sir. Ekiti State Local Government Administration First Amendment Bill 2026, first reading. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. That is the first reading of this bill, Ekiti State Administration of Local Government Administration. We will take the second reading as the next legislative business of the day, to be decided by the House Committee on Rules and Business. So, Chairman, House Committee on Rules and Business, please schedule this. Well, dear colleagues, as we all are aware, earlier today, I announced to us that at 2 p.m. today, there is an event, an award, a program organized by the Podium. Say it's Podium Award. And Ekiti State House of Assembly is one of the awardees of the day as an outstanding establishment, outstanding arm of government. And like I mentioned earlier, the Deputy Speaker will lead other members to receive this award on behalf of the House at Obafemi Awolowo Civic Center. May I also inform the House that 2 of our members are also listed as awardees of today. 2 of them are listed, Right Honorable Akim Jamiu and Honorable Abimbola Sholanke are listed as awardees today at the event. So please let us endeavor to be there. Let me also quickly inform us that tomorrow the Constitutional Reform Committee, Nigeria Constitutional Reform Committee now, these are committees set up by the federal government, by the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who are saddled with the responsibility of looking into all our laws in Nigeria. They have been working for over 1 year. Of course, a committee was initially set up. That committee prepared their report, and they submitted the report. Then after, a technical committee was also set up. So the technical committee is the one now working. And I can announce to us that this technical committee, they have been in Ekiti State since last week, Thursday. They've been around in Ekiti State. Of course, they chose Ekiti State as a destination where they will work. And to the glory of God, Ekiti has one of the best resorts in Nigeria, or if not sub-Saharan Africa. And that is Ikogosi Resort, where you have cold and warm water, coming together without mixing. And we have it, and we have a state of nature. So they decided to come here, and fortunately enough, one of our airgates in Ekiti State is the chair of the initial committee and also the current committee, and that is Mr. Olawale Fakonda, SAN. This committee is also co-chaired by one of the, when it comes to legal issues in Nigeria, one name that you always hear, Professor Dakas is also around, and other legal luminaries in Nigeria who are here in Ekiti State. So tomorrow, they will be paying a courtesy visit to Ekiti State House of Assembly. I will want us to be around as they will be visiting us tomorrow around 3 p.m. in the afternoon. And after the visit, we may have a get-together with them at the Speaker's Lodge tomorrow. So this invitation is to all members to be around tomorrow as this committee will be coming to Ekiti State, because I'm aware on Thursday they will be rounding up to also go back to submit their report to the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, having done a great job for almost 1 year. I think Ekiti is blessed. Ekiti is blessed in a way that reform of our laws and committee are sitting in Ekiti to review it. Committee is shared by an Ekiti person. I think Ekiti is so lucky. I thank you all, dear colleagues, and I know that tomorrow we'll also welcome them to our dear state. On that note, I call on the leader of the House to take us through the next item.
Honorable Speaker and my dear colleagues, the next item, which is the last item for the other paper for today, is item 6, and that is adjournment. Right, Honorable Speaker, having exhausted all the items for today, I would like to move the motion that this House adjourns Senator. I so move.
On that note, I call on Alhaja Miriam Abimbola Ogunlade to second the motion.
Thank you. Our digital capacity speaking speaker, sir.
You can say that again. Our digital honorable member representing Emure. Every members of this house are now digital members of Ekiti State. Somebody confronted me and he said to me, Mr. Speaker, it seems that the way you are taking the Ekiti State House of Assembly, anybody who is not computer literate may not be able to contest to come to the Ekiti State House of Assembly. And I said to the person, Ekiti State House of Assembly is not meant for mediocres. Ekiti State House of Assembly is meant for hairget. Yes. It's meant for people who knows their onions. It's meant for people who have their brains, intelligent people. It's meant for credible people. And that is the Ekiti State House of Assembly that we are leading. So the digital member representing Emure constituency, please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. We will continue to appreciate you. My name is Honorable Alhaja Miriam Bimbola Ogunlade. I represent the entire good people of Emure constituency. I stand up this afternoon to second the motion ably moved by the leader of business that the House adjourn Senator. Thank you, sir.
On that note, I therefore put the question because the digital house is here and you are going to digitize your vote again. That those in favor that this house adjourns Senator, please press yes. And if you are against, press no. Your vote counts with us in the State House of Assembly. As you vote, we will see. If you vote yes, you will see. If you vote no, we will also see. So your voting starts now. And those who are intending to vote no, please go ahead. The yes, we have it. Oh, the result is out. Yeah, that we are 16 does not mean 60 people voted. 13 people used their part. I am one of those who did not use this vote because unless there is a tie, and there is no tie, so I didn't vote, and I know some people didn't also press their part. And you have the right not to even vote at all. If you abstain, you can also press abstain. But since you have never pressed abstain, so it shows that you are not part of the voting process at all. And if you have the right not to vote, you have the right to abscond, you have the right to abstain, you have the right to vote no, you have the right to vote yes, but 13 people voted, and it's a simple majority. Even if it is just one person that votes, and it votes yes, then the yes will still have it. Or in this case, 13 people voted, 13 say yes, none say no, nobody abstained, some decided not to vote. At the end of the voting, the minority have their say, majority have their weight, then the yes have it. I arise.